Hi everyone, it's Lynnea here for Trinity Stamps, and I'm excited to be part of the Sweet Shop release, which is live right now in the Trinity Stamps store. I'm going to be using the new Sensational stamp set. This is a mini 3x4 stamp set, and it is going to pair perfectly with a stencil from my stash. I'm going to be using the Catching Some Rays layering stencil set. So to start my card, I'm going to stamp the Sensational stamp, and this is all one stamp. It has this gorgeous kind of puffy cloud background, and there's a sun, some hearts, and then the "You Are Sensational" sentiment. I've sped up my coloring quite a bit because I'm not an expert when it comes to coloring. I just wanted to quickly add some color, and I like to color dark to light. So I'm starting with my darkest yellow and then adding my medium and then adding my lightest yellow kind of all over and adding a highlight. I thought that I would add a little bit more detail to this simple image by adding a dotting technique. So every time I color an area, I'm coloring with my darkest, then my medium, and then my light, and then I'm going to bring in a super dark marker and add just a few little kind of accent dots here and there. For the yellow part of the sun, I actually ended up using an orange marker, and for the sun, I'm going to end up using a red marker. I just wanted it to be something that was a few shades darker than my darkest marker that I use for my color blend, so that those little dot highlights and accent marks would really show up well. I'm just going to color my hearts with some red markers. I'm keeping the color scheme pretty simple here. The sun is orange and yellow. The clouds are going to be a whitish gray color. The hearts are traditional red. And then that sensational sentiment, I'm going to use the same oranges and yellows that I used on the sun and color that in. So I'm not bringing in a bunch of extra colors, just keeping this color palette very simple. When I'm coloring white, I don't like to leave an area just plain white. I like to use some cool gray markers. So I'm coming in with C2 and then C0 and then kind of blending that out a little bit with a colorless blender marker, and then again coming in with a super dark marker and just adding some dots. Now this stamp does not have a coordinating die, but that's okay. It is so easy to fussy cut that I'm just going to grab my fussy cutting scissors and cut this out. You'll notice as I'm cutting that I am moving the paper and not the scissors. That is the easiest way to get some smooth cut lines. Now let's move on to that background. I'm taking that Catching Some Rays stencil set, and I'm taking the larger of the rays stencil, and I'm going to temporarily adhere that onto a piece of white cardstock using some purple tape, and I'm going to add some Distress Oxide inks all over the stencil. So starting at the center there, I'm using some spiced marmalade, and I'm blending this out far enough and kind of using my Sensational stamp as a guide because I wanted to make sure that I would see some of that orange. And then I'm going to come in with squeezed lemonade around the outside to have that bright yellow end of the rays. Just going to blend that all over, and then my first layer is done. I'll grab that second layer stencil, line that up, and now I'm going to go over this with some gold Glitz Glitter Gel. This is a Glitz Glitter Gel that I use all the time, so I really didn't have to stir mine up too much, but if you find that your glitz has separated into a clear liquid and some colored glitter, just go ahead and give that a quick stir and you'll be good to go. I'm applying that over my stencil with my stencil pal to make sure I have even coverage. Then I'm going to give that one quick swipe right down the center of my card so that I have a nice even application, and I will put all that extra glitz back into my jar. I'm going to clean up my workstation so I have somewhere clean to set this panel. Carefully peel off that stencil and then set this panel aside to dry for about 20 to 30 minutes. This card is just about finished. All I'm going to do is add some foam adhesive to the back of my image and then add a little bit of liquid adhesive as well, since I'm gluing this onto a textured background, and I'll add that to the center of my card. This video is part of a Trinity Stamps video hop celebrating the Sweet Shop release, so you'll want to check out my video description for the link to the next video, and then hop along throughout all of the videos in the hop to get some fabulous inspiration. Thank you so much for watching this video. On the screen now are a couple other videos I've done for Trinity Stamps that I thought you might enjoy. Thanks again. Bye!